Right, I'm going to show a little bit of the environment here of this project we're working on called Lunei. I'm not going to hear a lot of sound effects. This might be the only ones you're hearing. We're not working on sound at the moment. Everywhere where you see on the map here, you can actually go to. There's another map here that at some point will become open, depending on stuff. And I think we're going to start in the town, which I actually don't want right now. This is a placeholder character. I'm just moving away here for a second. I'm gonna go somewhere else quickly. So you can see there are different biomes here. Let's just move along. This isn't gameplay or anything. This is just I'm just going through the environment. So I created this this fast-moving enabled the character to move quickly through the environment. Like I said, this is just a test character. I just wanted to check. There's a little river here. It's got some water effects on it. But I think this is probably more at the mouth. There's a little biome. Snowy biome here. Just wanted to see, does this one actually have some? Yeah, there. And now he's gonna fall into the water. Just not what I wanted. Okay, so that's not a great angle for that. And it became nighttime now, so there's a day-night cycle, which I can also toggle while I'm testing. Let's see if we can. So there's lush green environment, biome, snow. I just want to toggle back to daylight for a second here. So here's another one, another little river. With the fog effects kicking in, there's some dynamic fog. Oh, is this a waterfall? You can see some of the water textures, the water planes there. Not sure if that was intended. So this is a waterfall. Then we're transitioning here to a snowy biome. Let's go out of here. You can see one of the fog effects here, how it's blanketing an area. So these will appear randomly. So now a storm actually kicked in, a snowstorm. At the moment, it's not checking in which biome you are for which storm you're getting. There are rainstorms and snowstorms. So it'll probably be more, I think, cooler if the snowstorm only hits in the snow biome. But I haven't thought much about that at the moment. Here you can see some falling leaf effects. If I stop the storm, which I can do while I'm testing, you can see the falling leaf effects a little bit better. I think it adds a little bit of realism to the environment. I want to just transition to this biome up here with one leap. And there you can see the Baldurain Temple, which we're going to hit, and there's the town, Baldurain Town. Let's head over there. We should maybe let's just come down this mountain here. Oops. Not all of the vegetation has blocking physics, but those ones do because they're quite they've got thick branches. All right, I think it's transitioning to night now, or dusk. can see the skylight, the skyline, atmosphere or whatever, changing a bit of color. So when it gets night, when it becomes nighttime, it will actually change color randomly. The cloud opacity will also vary. The cloud shapes and all that will also vary. It's all built into the sky system or the weather system. And there are no seasons. I don't think there are going to be seasons in the game. Not that I can think of right now. And then the sky will also change color. We can play with that, change that color in a. So there's actually a little path here. I'm just running around like a crazy person here. Let's head on over to the town. This is more of the falling leaf. There you can see it's transitioning to a different color. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a purple. Okay, let's head on over here now. Oh wow, there's the green. One of my favorite colors. It's all randomized colors. Now these torches, I'll show you the torches in a second. I'm just going to move through here. Here's just for scale and size testing. Let's bring up the character here for a second. Now these torches are, oh wow, the sky's changing again. If I were to make it daytime now, let me just hide the character. Just keep an eye on these torches for a second. You'll see they go out. So they're completely dynamic, and they respond to the day-night cycle. And it's optional because I mean it's a blueprint, so you can tell them. And then I just want to show this quickly in the town. There's not a lot to see here. I mean, this is an empty environment, but you can see if you do have a place where you can transition to another map, or you can enter a place, it actually reads the key binding and shows you the key there that you can press to enter. Now on the keyboard I've mapped that to the use key. Now the use key maps to E, so you could potentially well, we probably will create an image mapping then to those to display an image rather than text. And just to show you why I'm yapping on about this, I'm just using a Windows Xbox 360 controller on my PC. The sensitivity is a little iffy. It's a little iffy, but you'll see now when I get to the door now it's detected that I'm actually using the controller now. And that's one of the pretty easy to do, but it's not obvious how to detect what controller the user is using. But that was quite cool to write that, because I kind of like that idea that you don't have to tell the game which input you prefer to use. Just start using it, and then the game just auto adjusts to you. I just want to stop the storm because it's kind of unnecessary. Let's go into this house. This is the only house you can actually go into at the moment. I just pressed E, and you're going to see a lot of assets that we have created will be reused in some of the other places we go to. So this house doesn't have much going for it. This is showing you some of the different lighting, and there's still a lot of props and things missing. Now if we transition back to the main area, it's going to be a little bit slower. We also need a display lookup value for the world itself, so it doesn't say Lunei_main, obviously, because that's not a cool name for the player to transition to. It's like, okay, _main. I'm just running around here quickly. There's not much to see in the town at the minute, or to do for that matter, but that's not the purpose of this. Let's just move through here. Let's see, where can I go? Let's go. Where's my road? Oh, here's a road. Let's go up here, and let's bring it to nighttime again. I'm gonna hide this character for a second. Let's wait for the torches to kick in. Oh, there they go. So, excuse me. So, there the torches started again. It does add a cool effect when you see that. Now the skylight shows a pretty light color, so it doesn't look like it's actually nighttime, but it is, and it'll transition through different colors. I might use that as a game element. I'm not sure. Say, depending on the color of the sky, it might affect some element or something in the game. Not sure yet. Alright, let's transition back to daylight. Bring my character back. And then let's do the temple quickly. This is just a little town square, not much to see here. Just going to move through this quickly. You can see some of the volumetric fog there. Alright. And as far as the temple is concerned, there wasn't a lot interesting here at the minute. They'll come, but what is kind of cool is these lanterns. These rope lanterns were created using obviously Unreal Engine. They were quite fun to create, and they're also dynamic. When you place them, you can size the physics object, and it will resize automatically. That is a rock sticking through. Okay. It will resize the cable because it's using a cable with physics constraint attached to it, and it will resize it automatically. Depending on the length of the rigid body that the cable is connected to. There's not much to see at the moment. You can see some flickering there as the objects are coming in and out. And then another thing is you'll see these are actually moving. Or they should start moving any second. They should be swaying. I think they're on a 45-second cycle, so they don't always move on the first time. But just to add a little bit of, come on, just to add a little bit of, so it looks like something is swaying them. So there you can see if they're not, if their velocity is below a certain threshold, after a few seconds they'll automatically start swaying. And that same goes for the lanterns too, the hanging ones, not just the chandeliers. So you'll see that's why most of them are swaying. This one I obviously jumped into, and you can interact with them. If you can, there we go. You can interact with them. I'm not sure if it's going to add any gameplay elements, but you can see these are also moving, even though I haven't done anything to them. Right, let's get out of here. Then let's just show the last part of the available environment. Okay, there was a little bit of stutter there. Whoa! As we hit the world. Okay, things loading. Then there's another function here that I haven't shown. It's one of the fancy shaders. Let me hide the character for a second. It's one of the fancy shaders that you can do for, for a detective mode or something like that, Not sure how we're going to incorporate that yet, but it's here, it's available, and it's working. It's a pretty cool effect. Not sure if we'll probably use it as is. Maybe we'll have to tweak it a bit or make it a bit cooler or give it some use, Maybe only show particular objects. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. That's still under development. Okay, let's get out of the town. There's not a lot to see, anything more to see here. And I want to make my way to the cave. Just gonna follow the path here quickly. And I think it's over here. I think it's over here. Just gonna jump up here. And you can see one of the, this is using Unreal Engine's cloth. You can see it swaying in the wind. It's a little hit and miss. Just going into the cave. Just really here, it's just about the lighting and the fog, you know, setting the environment, setting the mood. So I'm just gonna move through this environment here. You can see a little bit of, you know, playing with the light and the contrasting lights. And then this is one of the bigger areas here where some stuff is going to go down. You can see some of the environment fog kicking in. This is particular only to this cave. It's not everywhere. Like you wouldn't see this in a house or in a temple, you know, or in a castle or fort. And you can see the cloth animation there again. This because there's wind. I added some wind in the cave for the cloth to simulate. But even though if you do set collision on the cloth, it still goes through some of the meshes. So not 100% sure about that. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this guy. And obviously, if you press the map key here, nothing happens. So just a quick update on the environment. Yeah. Alrighty, thanks for watching.